So just to rephrase it, so the question is, when we move from 4G to 5G, the question always comes up, so what is the value? What can we expect in terms of functionality, but also how much, the investments and what comes out of it. How much can operators or companies expect that they can get extra value, revenue, or whatever out of 5G?
New growth of revenue and the new business models, they are based on the network capability. For network capability itself, 5G network is more than 10 times improvement of both capacity and latency. Based on this huge, wide pipe of capacity and also ultra low latency, we can totally change the current business model of the telecom. For example, currently you have a cell phone, right? You have smartphone or you have a personal computer. In order to have a better experience, you will buy a more expensive smartphone with a higher configuration of chipsets, CPU, storage, because all the processing and all the computing and the storage are locally processed. If you log on the website, if you play some online game, all the computing and let's say storage resource are in your smartphone. But because 4G network is not wide enough to process the real-time signal, not wide enough. But in the 5G era, the pipe will be huge, like more than 10 times. Then all the resources can transfer from your local devices to the cloud. That means all the services, all the computing resources, storages on the cloud, your device will be simpler and simpler and cheaper in the future.
So what is the balance between what operators have to invest in terms of what they can gain from new customers that will pay more when we look at 5G?
Firstly, when I mentioned the device get cheaper and cheaper, it's more convenient for the operators to get a large quantity of new users. For example, in the 4G era, when a device is expensive, you can by releasing a very high-end game, you only have 5 or 10% of the user market. But in the future, when all the resources on the cloud, devices very cheap, you can enlarge your user market to 5, 10 to 80, 90%. That's a big potential for operators. Yes.
Is there any experience today with operators that has launched 5G that we can learn from?
Actually, now the first wave of 5G is in both US and Eastern Asia, like Japan, Korea, and this year China. The first step of 5G is only enlarge the pipe. But during the later stage, maybe the operators can enter into the industry vertical market. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's another new, let's say, battlefield of operators.
Yeah. So we still have to see how much more revenue or ARPU that 5G generates in practical when the launches start to happen.
The ARPU based on the exact services, let's say. Nowadays, what services we can enjoy in the smartphone, like website, like the Facebook, Instagram, they will be traditional services after 2 years. 2 or 3 years later will be more and more colorful, new services based on the 5G network. That's another new growth of operators, and also new devices like wearable devices, VR, AR, glasses, watches, and so on. Not only smartphones and PCs. Yeah, that's another growth point
Right.
for the operators.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Great,
you.
much appreciated.